Due to ShowPro's aggressive copyright takedown policy, this re-upload will be audio only, with the fully edited version available to my patrons, link in the description below. Up next, we have Kyurem vs. the Sword of Justice, the only Gen 5 movie I saw prior to making these videos. I remember being super stoked about this movie because they had cast Vic Mignogna, who was my favorite voice actor at the time, as Keldeo, and though his performance wasn't the best, I still remember mostly enjoying the film. Did it meet my nostalgic expectations? Could this franchise possibly get any worse than the previous film? Let's take a look. Keldeo is training to become a sacred swordsman so that he can join the ranks of his mentors, Cobalion, Virizion, and Terrakion, and so that he can finally battle against the legendary Kyurem. However, Cobalion and the others don't think Keldeo is ready yet, so Keldeo rushes off into battle anyway, resulting in his horn being broken and the 3 other sacred swordsmen being frozen solid. Keldeo flees from the battle, but Kyurem refuses to let the fight end and pursues him out into the wilderness, where they eventually meet up with Ash and friends. Can Keldeo learn to master his powers and save his friends from their icy fate? I'm gonna be honest, I do not understand the hate that this film gets at all. Maybe there's a significant difference in the dubbed version, but I really enjoyed this film. It trades in the typical save the world from total disaster scenario for a smaller, much more personal narrative. Watching Keldeo grow throughout the movie and learn what it truly means to be a sacred swordsman definitely felt like the core of this film, and the character animation for Keldeo really sells it. You can just feel the fear radiating off of him whenever Kyurem shows up, showcasing how legitimately afraid he is of this opponent. This is also the first film in a very, very long time to have some sort of underlying theme or message. Keldeo goes into a fight that he's woefully unprepared for, gets the crap knocked out of him, and runs away without finishing what he started. The movie really goes all in on this idea of the younger generation charging headlong into an adult world they don't fully understand, and then getting dealt the consequences for not preparing enough. It's only through understanding the responsibilities that you'll eventually be given that you can learn and grow into a fully capable adult. Granted, the movie isn't totally devoid of flaws, but most of the flaws I found were very nitpicky. Children being able to pilot giant airships, unexpected power-ups at key moments during the big fight, even though the power-ups make sense thematically, stuff like that that's pretty easy to overlook if you're invested enough in the main story, which I definitely was. I even ended up liking the regular main cast because they weren't so damn annoying like they were during the TV series and weren't outright abrasive about anything. Animation-wise, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Anything outside of a fight scene actually looks pretty bad and often includes really bad cuts or transitions, though it at least has some competent blocking at key emotional moments. In the fights, however, it's surprisingly impressive. Everything is so dynamic and high impact that it just gets my blood pumping. They also found a way to use one of Keldeo's special attacks to create some really exciting cinematography with everything just spiraling all over the screen like we're in Attack on Titan or something. The final battle is definitely a treat as well, especially with the narrative and thematic elements all coming to a head at the perfect moments. Again, it's not exactly consistent overall, but its high points are definitely worth it. Can't really say much about the soundtrack though. There were a few cool tracks near the beginning, but I can barely remember them after the more generic tracks washed them out of my memory. In the end, I still don't understand why this movie gets so much hate. It's got a great character arc, it's barely abrasive in its dialogue, and the action scenes are exhilarating and intense. It's certainly not the best movie, but still a fun time that I can see most Pokemon fans enjoying even if they don't like the Gen 5 anime. Trust me, I'm right there with you. This is definitely one that I could see myself coming back to again in the future, and I highly encourage you to give it another chance if you've skipped over it already. That's it for this video. Before we round out the Gen 5 films, we'll be taking a quick detour to check out a series of specials lost to time, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And don't forget to check out my other content while you wait. Special thanks to Jan Rogalski, Rourke Tenjoin, JJJ User, Kushina Minami, and all my other patrons for their generous support. My name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.